Hello my friends, Paul here in the RoJoBe Music Workshop, and welcome to the August 2023 shop update. Okay, so not a great deal to show for this month's shop update, but a few bits and pieces, and I've also ordered a few more bits and pieces which will be in the September shop update. But for now, let's just see what we've got on the bench. Just a few little bits and pieces. There's nothing much, as I said. Going to start at this end. So I bought some of this contact cleaner, which is for cleaning electrical components, basically. You know, I've had some issues with some of the controls on guitars and things. When you're turning the volume or the tone, you get a bit of crackling or sort of strange noises coming through, then you would take the controls out and you give it a clean with this stuff, and that will usually he says, solve the problem. But not always. It just, if there's obviously something wrong with the control pots or other components, just cleaning it's not going to make much difference. But it's really useful stuff to have, and I probably will use it quite frequently. Now, when I was getting our new building ready for the new wing of the school, I was using one of my step drill, tapered drill. I can't remember the proper name for them, but I was using one of those to put a hole through a double-sided plasterboard wall to run a cable through. And I'd finished drilling the hole, and then as I pulled the drill out of the wall, that step drill fell out of the drill and down inside the wall cavity. So I was a bit annoyed about that. Because I've got a set of 3 and now it's no longer a set of 3, and that just irritates the hell out of me. If I've got a set of something, it has to be complete. So I could have got it out by cutting a great big hole in the wall, but I didn't fancy that idea, so I left it in there and I bought a new set, slightly better set, this one. So we've got the 3 3 different sized step drills, tapered drill, call them what you like, but they also come with these and again I'm not sure what you call them, but basically drills for going sideways. So the drill part goes through the hole, and then you can go sideways to make a square hole, round hole, any shape hole you want. So it's a decent little set. There's 3 of those in different sizes, and 3 of the step drills as well. So I had to get another set to replace the incomplete set, because that just irritates me. I also bought a pack of glue sticks for a glue gun, because I've got a glue gun. I don't use it often, but I was running out of the glue sticks, so I thought I'd buy some more. I bought a pair of mole grips. I should have got 2 really, but I haven't had any of those for a long time, so I thought I might as well get some. And another thing I had was a pair of the really cheap wire strippers and wire crimpers, and they're no good, and I've had them for a long time, and I got fed up with them, so I decided to buy one of these sets, and these are much better. So you'll put the wire in here, and it strips the end of the wire, and you've got all the crimping bits and pieces there, and there's a cutter in the middle. These are much better. The only downside of these for me is they're right-handed. You think they shouldn't be, but you've got the let's see, you've got the wire gripper on this side, and then the cutter on the other side, and just the way you feed the wire into it and then squeeze these, they're right-handed, but I can use them, it's not a problem. Another thing I got was this infrared thermometer. It's not for taking your own temperature. This is for it covers a range of temperatures. Let's see, it goes from minus minus 50 degrees centigrade up to 380 centigrade, or minus 58 Fahrenheit up to 716 Fahrenheit. Now, the reason I got this, you may recall in one of my previous mini projects when I was redoing the double neck guitar, I was wax potting one of the pickups, and you know, I bought a hot plate and I bought a few other bits and pieces for doing that job, and but the hot plate doesn't have a temperature gauge on it, just a dial, you know, from low up to high. And you know, it's something that I will use quite a lot, and it's, you know, this thing will tell me what temperature it is on the hot plate itself. And also I use a cheap clothes iron for heating bridges and fretboards when I want to remove them. And again, the temperature for that is fairly important. It should be in the region of 350 to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about between about 120 and 180 centigrade, somewhere in that region. And I switched that iron on the other day and tested it with this, and what I found was that the hottest part of the iron is at the front, the sort of triangle bit at the front. It's hotter there than the rest of it. And there it's about between 360 and 380, I think it was, Fahrenheit, which is just right for removing the bridges and fretboards. So it's good to know that that thing, you know, gets up to the right temperature for doing those jobs. So this is a real handy little gadget, you know, and it'll get used for various other things as well. Another thing, when I was doing the wiring on that double neck guitar, you know, it was fiddly, it was awkward, and I'm not the best solderer in the world, and my hands sometimes are a little bit shaky and not steady, so I decided to get one of these little gizmos. Various different names for this. I mean, I would just call it a soldering jig. You know, you've got your thing there for actually holding the soldering iron. There's a couple of little clamps on there for holding your work, and they're fully adjustable in all different directions. You turn it round, turn them in, and you know, it's fully adjustable with two little crocodile clips, I think they're called, on the end. And it's got a magnifying glass with an LED light. So yeah, really handy bit of kit. Pretty cheap, really. It's quite a small one. But you know, that's ideal for those little jobs, and not just soldering. You can use these for you know, many different types of jobs. But I needed to get one, so now I've got one. I wish I'd got it before doing that job actually, but never mind. Okay, so what else have we got? What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, yeah. So the other thing I got for several different projects, you know, it can be used for a million different things, is I got some of this, hold on 1 second, should open that up, gold leaf. Okay, so I've got 100 sheets of these, and they're like about 4 inches square, I think. So yeah, there's 100 leaves of those, and it's really quite difficult to work with this stuff. How do I know? Well, I've done a little experiment using it. So this little Faraday box that I'd made before, I've done the back of that in this gold leaf, and you know, I didn't sort of sand the surface smooth or anything. I wasn't looking for a perfect finish. I just wanted to you know, test actually applying this stuff, because it's a bit tricky, because that gold leaf is very, very thin. I don't know how thin, but it's very thin. I mean, much thinner than paper, and it's really difficult to work with. So you know, that was my first experiment. Seems to have turned out all right. You know, it's done what I wanted it to do, and I've been looking online, you know, some YouTube videos about this stuff, and a lot of the people say that, you know, you've got to use a particular type of glue. Well, what I did, just 1 second. Oh, That's okay. So I've got some quite thick PVA glue, and what I did was I just got a little bit of that and watered it right down, so it was like, you know, sort of skimmed milk kind of consistency. And yeah, just ordinary PVA glue, and you know, heavily watered down, so it is basically, you know, water. And just applied it on the back of this box with a paintbrush, and then put the gold leaf on top. You know, when you're handling this gold leaf, it tears so easily. You know, it doesn't need any force at all for it to tear. And you know, it's if you want to completely cover a surface, sometimes you might have to do it 2 or 3 times. But you know, that's going to have quite a few different uses. And I've thought about using it for my next project. What is your next project? Well, I haven't built anything since that double neck guitar, and you know, I've been sort of having a bit of a time off from all that, you know, all the building stuff. I'm still doing a few of the repairs and restrings and that kind of thing. But I'm getting bored. So I want to start a new project. I've had a bit of time off. You know, I said I was going to after the last one. I said I'm going to take some time out and not do any for a while. Well, I've done that and I'm bored now. So, excuse me. So I'm going to start a new project. I'm not going to say anything about it right now, because I have at the moment got some of the materials I will need to do this project, but there was a few other bits and pieces I needed, so I've got them on order. They should arrive in a couple of days, and when I've got all the bits and pieces I need to do this project, I will then make a standalone video about that, you know, introducing the new project, talking about what I'm going to be doing, and you know, some of the things of how I'm going to be doing it. And I may or may not use some of this gold leaf on that project. I don't know yet. I might. You see, this project, I'm gonna start with making one instrument, and if it turns out well, I'm gonna make 1, 2, maybe 3 more. I don't know yet. And so I might not do this gold leaf on the first one, because I'll have enough, you know, problems and issues whilst making this new thing anyway. So let me just check the time. Yeah, we're doing fine. So you know, I'm going to have enough problems as it is starting a new project, so I don't want to get into that gold leafing on the first one. But if the instrument does turn out good, you know, as good as I'm hoping, then you know, I might try that on the next one that I make. So it's going to be an interesting project. So you know, it is an instrument, but I'm not saying any more about it right now until I've got all the parts together that I need to build it, and then I'll, as I said, do a standalone video talking about that project. And I'm quite looking forward to it. In some ways, I think it's going to be relatively easy. You know, as my regular viewers will know, I've made countless different types of instruments, and some of them have been quite easy. Some of them have been very tricky, you know, and many of them I've had many problems and issues and mistakes that, you know, I've had to put right. But this one I'm really looking forward to, because it's an interesting instrument to start with, and I've not made anything quite like this before. Similar, but not quite like it. And as I said, I think a lot of it is going to be relatively easy, which is nice. I like easy. I mean, I do like a challenge as well, don't get me wrong, and some bits of this will be challenging. But for the most part, you know, on the whole, it's going to be a relatively simple project, which means that you know, it should turn out really good. And it will need to, and I'll explain why when I, you know, introduce the project. So that's enough waffling. So as I said, there's not really, you know, much in the way of gadgets and gizmos. I've got a few bits and pieces, and you know, I've got a few more coming as well. So there'll be another shop update in September, and this project should take off fairly soon. So, you know, you shouldn't have to wait too long to, you know, to find out what it is, and join me on the journey of building this new instrument. And as I said, I am looking forward to it. It's going to be relatively easy, but still challenging. So that's about where I like it. Okay, so if you're enjoying my videos, please give a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share the link with friends and family. You know, I'm still trying to get the figures up on my channel, and we will see you soon. So please look after yourselves, look after each other, and we will see you soon. Peace out.